It's the month of October, meaning we're going to be getting into some creepy shit this month. However, before we do, I thought we'd have a look at something that's a bit more lighthearted, but still very strange. Certain countries and areas have very weird laws revolving around very strange things. So before we get into our month of madness, I thought we'd have a look at some of them. So sit back, relax, grab some chewing gum, and join me for the 10 weirdest laws on Earth. Number 10 is the chewing gum ban in Singapore. In 2004, chewing gum was apparently causing a serious problem for the people of Singapore, with mailboxes, keyholes, and other such things being affected by the almighty chewing gum vandals. This terrifying chewing gum gang were relentless, and anybody who lived in public housing flats were targeted day in and day out, never being left alone, never being safe. Nah, I'm just joshing, they were fine, but they did actually go ahead and ban chewing gum. Just, okay, fair enough, just take it away. As of now, the ban has been partially lifted, with exclusions being made for gum that can help dental health. But the majority of gum-related imports are immediately halted, and anyone who is seen spitting gum onto the streets can get a $500 fine. Number 9 is that it's illegal to make funny faces at a dog in Oklahoma. So the reason this law was actually issued is to prevent people from distracting guide dogs. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense, but you really shouldn't have to make a law about that. I mean, seems a little bit strange, that's all. Number 8 is that it is illegal for prison guards in Alabama to say the expression, the old ball and chain. Not much is known about this law, and it might not actually exist, rather just be an urban myth. However, it is frowned upon for a lot of prison guards to use that expression because apparently it reminds inmates of their imprisonment. So it's more than likely just a rule in a prison in Alabama, however it's still strange. Number 7, it's illegal to be overweight in Japan. If you are a Japanese citizen between the ages of 45 and 74, you are required to have your waistlines measured every single year, and if you are over a certain weight, you will potentially have to seek medical help, which can of course convert into some nasty hospital bills. Japan is the country that brought us sumo wrestlers though, so how does that work? Do they get a pass or... Number 6. If you live in Scotland and a random stranger knocks on your door to let them in and use your toilet, it's illegal to deny them access. Okay, now it's getting weird. It is believed that this law is actually an urban myth that was merely concocted to increase tourism. However, a lot of people do believe it's a legitimate law that is merely put under the rug because it's absolutely ridiculous. So don't expect too much of a warm welcome if you knock on a Scottish person's door expecting this law to be applicable. Number 5 is no unmarried woman in Florida can parachute on Sundays. I really have no idea why this exists. I just don't know anymore, goddamn. Because the whole unmarried thing comes into play, it might have something to do with religious beliefs, but your guess is as good as mine. Again, this is one of those laws that's not heavily enforced, however some companies do have the right to deny access to an unmarried woman if she attempts to skydive on a Sunday. Number 4, it's illegal to pick your nose on a Sunday in Israel. Man, Sunday seems to be the day for weird laws. This one is a little bit stranger than the previous one, however, because of a couple of reasons. It's not just unmarried women that are targeted this time. Anybody, regardless of religion or nationality, who's caught picking their nose on a Sunday in Israel can actually be prosecuted, and it has happened in the past. Of course, they are slightly lenient with this ridiculous law, however, in comparison to the other strange laws we've had a look at, this one is actually one of the most heavily enforced. Number 3. In England, it's illegal to die in the House of Parliament. So don't do it, okay? Jesus. This law was actually issued because of the previous policy the House of Parliament had about death. They probably thought that if anybody died there from a heart attack or any other kind of incident, that they would be some kind of royalty. So in the 17 and early 1800s, if you died in the House of Parliament, they would pay your funeral expenses. However, because of this policy, they found themselves paying for funerals for people that weren't royalty. So they went against their previous policy and just said, you know what, no more dying here, it's illegal. Number 2, it's illegal to not smile in Milan. There's a good chance that this one is an urban myth because of how ridiculous it is. However, the law or fable or myth or whatever it is has increased tourism. And that's probably the original reason it was made in the first place. It probably worked to an extent, but just in case it isn't an urban myth, if you go to Milan, don't have a bad day ever. And number 1, in Oklahoma, you can't have a sleeping donkey in a bathtub after 7 p.m. Okay then, what? This act of treachery is more so frowned upon than it is illegal. However, apparently it is a real law. It might have something to do with the safety of the donkey or your bath. I have no idea. The weirdest part about this law is your donkey can be awake. That's fine. Of course that's fine. What are you talking about? But if it's asleep, okay. You're doing 25 to life, man. That's not actually the charge, but you'll probably just get some weird looks from your neighbors. You know the drill. And that's it for this top 10. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to hit that like button. I'll leave a link down below to all of the weird top 10s I have done in the past. I hope you enjoyed your chewing gum, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.